You know, this is the most full this hall has ever been, I believe, for a State of the City. In part, that's because my colleagues on the City Council decided to make this event free tonight for all Santa Monica residents. So welcome to our residents. We're glad you're here. So the last time that I came to you as your mayor with the state of our city was 5 years ago. And you may remember I suggested a number of game changers that were about to affect life here in Santa Monica. So how did I do with those predictions? Get off my lawn!
Okay, Boomer.
Well, yeah, I missed that one. But so did we all. And I think that just indicates the hardest thing to expect is the unexpected. We get a lot of that. We've seen big changes, obviously, as scooters and electric bikes available for rental via smartphone created a whole new category of micromobility. More on that and our other transportation efforts later. Let's go back, though, to the game changers from 5 years ago. Probably the most relevant to today's theme of social impacts and working together is the rise of millennials. We'll get a new demographic snapshot with this year's national census. Please do stop by the Complete Count 2020 booth out there in the lobby. Meanwhile, as expected, it's now the millennials who are joining the Gen Xers in management and setting the standards, not us boomers. That means the connection between business and social impact is more important than ever. Whether as workers or as customers, millennials are more demanding about the values of the companies they support. If companies don't embed social impact into their operations, well, they risk losing crucial engagement from a generation that cares ever more deeply about climate change, diversity, social issues, and equity and economic opportunities. 5 years ago, we were all astonished at the local explosion in tech jobs as we became Silicon Beach. In 2015, our best guess was 22,000 tech jobs in Santa Monica. Now, in 2020, it's over 31,000 jobs and over 3,000 businesses. We're grateful for this growth. Other traditional city revenues like hotel taxes have flattened in the past year, but tech is continuing to grow. Half of our tourism market is generated by international travelers, and that means that instability around the globe and in Washington impacts Santa Monica. Our hotel tax dollars and our other tourism activity are affected by issues like Brexit, foreign trade wars, tougher visa policies, and straight out of today's news, health concerns coming out of China. To better weather these ups and downs, we need to nurture a diverse local economy, one that encourages a variety of sectors to coexist and thrive. So it's fortunate that we've become home to a major tech and creative cluster, including information, entertainment, motion picture and video production, post-production and distribution, and then all the professional and technical services that go along with that: advertising, graphic design, website creation, computer programming, and so on. Marquee names here in Santa Monica include Activision, Cornerstone, Hulu, Lionsgate, Oracle, Snap, Universal. Those are the biggest players. But Santa Monica has become an even more preeminent city for startups, innovators, and entrepreneurs. We have 28 co-working spaces like Cross Campus, Expert Dojo, and WeWork. Those office and opportunity businesses each host dozens of new exciting tech companies. The total tech payroll in Santa Monica is over $5 billion, well over half the annual payroll of the entire city. So yeah, the influx of the tech industry has really been a game changer as predicted. Of course, I guess we all know that there can be a problem with changing games. New winners can, without meaning to, make life harder for other people. Poverty and homelessness still exist side by side with our economic success. So what can we do to create an economy that works for everybody? Does one segment's growth have to mean another's disappointment? Does neighborhood gentrification have to mean displacement? Or is there a way that we can make sure that all boats rise together without washing some of us away? Equity and economic opportunities has come up locally in our recent efforts to reach consensus about a meaningful well-being plan for our Pico neighborhood. City surveys have shown that residents of our 90404 zip code have the greatest concerns of all of us about household economics, including rent, food, and basic necessities. Santa Monica is looking now at community planning on a neighborhood level, addressing local needs and building on local resources. How can we foster a stable, affordable environment where residents enjoy not only fair pay, but the opportunity to become business people themselves, using skills they already have? For the larger Santa Monica business community, looking for meaningful ways to have social impact, well, could local community capital investment be satisfying and transformative? Could owners and employees of our bigger businesses find the social value in their own expertise and experience by mentoring those whose aspirations are still unfulfilled? Just as the original Silicon Valley has changed San Francisco, the success of Silicon Beach is changing Santa Monica. We all know that. Tech jobs pay well, and we're grateful for that. But all that new money is in competition for our limited housing. The online real estate database Zillow recently reported the median home in Santa Monica now exceeds $1.5 million. Apartments have soared too. The median rent for new tenancies in a one-bedroom Santa Monica apartment last year was $2,450, and that includes the older buildings. An apartment in a new building can easily top twice that. Meanwhile, already over a quarter of renter households in Santa Monica pay over half their income for rent. And those are the lower income households, so it doesn't leave much for food, other expenses, or raising a family. Santa Monica has long been a leader in the successful production of affordable housing, but housing demand continues to outstrip supply. Since the last time I came to you, we've begun direct interventions to save long-time renters who are mostly seniors on fixed incomes. The results were so promising, we recently expanded that program called Preserve Our Diversity. New regional housing allocations expected to be finalized later this year may ask Santa Monica to accommodate over 9,000 new housing units, of which over half are supposed to be affordable. Well, there's the problem. Left to itself, the real estate market won't produce that many affordable apartments because the money is clearly in luxury housing. Our inclusionary zoning laws will force some affordability, and Community Corporation of Santa Monica continues to build and operate deed-restricted affordable apartments with the limited money we can make available to them. Oh, by the way, if you haven't heard already, 2 weeks ago, Community Corporation of Santa Monica, with a $15 million investment from the city of Santa Monica, bought an existing occupied apartment building in the Pico neighborhood. That preserves 40 units of affordable housing in our city. 37 families who live there now, mostly low income, will remain our neighbors for years to come. And that's important to us. When our city adopted a new zoning code 5 years ago, we created opportunities for new housing in downtown, along the transit boulevards, and in some of our formerly industrial areas. We can produce plenty of housing in places that won't disrupt existing occupied neighborhoods, but it will take subsidies to make that housing affordable. Let me pull you back to the importance of business values and the strong commitment of millennials to patronize and work for businesses that have clear plans for social impact. Housing is a crisis. Housing is necessary for our workforce. And our workers, and both resident and regional customers, want their money and their efforts to make positive change, not continue economic competition forcing seniors and low-income households out of our city. So what can our companies commit to doing about housing? What can the business community as a whole do about housing? The residents of our city, who collectively were another of my game changers 5 years ago, are increasingly fearful the price of economic success will be the loss of their existing housing. New workers streaming to our regional job center and wanting, quite understandably, to live near where they work, increase market rate rent levels and the temptation for property owners to replace existing renters who are paying less. The city of Santa Monica has expanded tenant harassment protection with stronger ordinances and focused enforcement. We put in place Ellis Act eviction delays for teachers one of our essential middle-class working categories feeling particular pressure. We're exploring ways to provide free legal assistance to residents who are facing eviction and displacement. Santa Monica's legal team working on all this is led by our city attorney, Lane Dilg, who is here tonight. Lane, would you give everybody a wave? Lane and the rest of the Santa Monica Legal Department continue to work on stronger tenant protection ordinances. But Lane also led the charge as Santa Monica went head-to-head in court with the home-sharing giant, Airbnb. And Lane and Santa Monica won. Airbnb challenged our local home-sharing ordinance. The courts upheld our policy to protect our residential units from conversion into vacation rentals and de facto hotel rooms. In the past 5 years, as a result of that, our local home-sharing law has resulted in the return of an average of 100 units per year to the permanent residential market, where we desperately need that housing. Now, we're all here. We know, we can all understand why nobody wants to be forced out of Santa Monica. Working together over many years, we've created a truly wonderful place to live and work. We will continue to be, and we want to be, a promising place for investment, entrepreneurship, and innovation. Santa Monica is a good place to do business, and you all know the importance to a business of being in the right place. So grab a donut, let's take a pause and look at some more of the good news about our city. Santa Monica remains a place that more and more people want to come and enjoy. Even with the recent concerns, our tourism industry contributes almost $60 million a year in hotel taxes alone, money that provides essential funding for schools, parks, police, fire, libraries. Visitors to Santa Monica also dine out in our restaurants and shop in our stores, providing a steady flow of new customers for our small businesses. Santa Monica will continue to be a great place to live, work, and do business because we're actively planning for a better future. After 2 years of studying global trends, we've now entered into the local phase of a process we call Santa Monica 2050. By the end of this year, we will have developed a long-term economic sustainability strategy for Santa Monica. We can survive disruption, which creates new business as old models become outmoded. We can capitalize on data-driven decision-making. New mobility options can reduce the challenges of commutes and gridlock. Connected technology will shift how businesses interact with their customers and with each other. Understanding the global trends, we can identify our own particular local strengths and make the most of them. The Santa Monica 2050 process will this year outline actions and targets so we can all prepare not only to weather economic trends, but to actually benefit from them. But I'm just a mayor. You're the ones who best understand the challenges of your business, your neighborhood, or your neighborhood business. Please, before you leave today, stop by the Santa Monica 2050 booth out in the lobby if you haven't done so already. Take the Santa Monica 2050 survey here on paper or when you go home online, but please be part of this process. We can probably best visualize the process of reinventing our local business assumptions by considering the promenade, which we all know. Santa Monica's 3rd Street Promenade has been the envy of other communities for 3 decades now, an economic engine that also provides entertainment and a public gathering place. Now, the City Council, downtown Santa Monica, and the community are in the process of envisioning a reimagined Promenade 3.0. We all know that brick and mortar retail has hit hard times, and in the past 20 years, movie attendance nationwide has dropped almost 30%. For the Promenade to continue as the centerpiece of Santa Monica, we must diversify from consumption to engagement. We need to rethink how to use existing spaces to encourage new arts and performance options that'll bring people downtown for something they can't buy online or stream on Netflix. And that work, including a physical reconfiguration of the public space on 3rd Street, is already underway. Santa Monica is committed to riding waves of innovation, not succumbing to the undertow. Santa Monica 2050 looks mostly to the future of local business. But another overarching initiative, our well-being project, is transforming how our city can best serve its residents and the people who make our businesses thrive. The well-being project's given us data-driven insights on what the needs of our Santa Monica people really are and where resources are most effective. In fact, it's led to a new performance-based city budget where the dollars we spend are measured against a framework of desired outcomes. The last time I stood before you as mayor, we were just beginning something called the Wellbeing Project, creating a snapshot in time back in 2015. Last year, in 2019, while Gleam Davis was mayor, we hosted our first Wellbeing Summit, a free interactive event at Santa Monica College. At that summit, over 900 people heard from experts, shared in hands-on activities, and enjoyed performance art, going home with a better idea of how we can all participate in making Santa Monica a sustainable city of well-being. And that reflects a long interest in sustainability. Last year, we celebrated the 25th anniversary of Santa Monica's original Sustainable City Plan, which set measurable goals for how we as a community act as stewards of our natural environment. In the decade just ended, we added to our urban forest over 3,100 net new trees. Our farmers markets now generate over $18 million in sales each year, infusing our homes and our restaurants with healthful, local, more sustainable food. While climate change worldwide has become a worldwide climate crisis, we've continued to make great progress here where we work and live. The business community is all in, along with the residents, and we really appreciate that. Don't forget that the 26th annual Sustainable Quality Awards are coming up in April. Just last year, in one fell swoop, we reduced Santa Monica's greenhouse gas footprint overnight by an additional 17% over the progress we'd already made, as we switched from electricity created using fossil fuels to 100% renewably sourced electricity from the new Regional Clean Power Alliance, which Santa Monica helped create. I'm proud to report that it's a big deal. And part of the reason why it's a big deal is your participation. I'm proud to report that 92% of Santa Monica business and residential customers committed to the Clean Power Alliance all-renewable service with completely clean solar, wind, and other green power. If you're one of the only 8% who chose to stay with dirty fossil fuel electricity, Greta Thunberg would like to have a word with you. We've done well on water, too, with Santa Monica reducing overall consumption by 20% since the most recent drought. That still leaves us at risk from future droughts or from being cut off from the Metropolitan Water District water, either by breaks in quake-vulnerable aqueducts or just from the rising costs of pumping that distant water to Southern California over mountain ranges. With a new rate program recently adopted by our City Council, we'll become water self-sufficient by 2023. While also investing in local infrastructure so we don't suffer leaks and sinkholes like we've seen in Ocean Park or along Ocean Avenue. Our owned local water will actually be cheaper in the long run and guarantees resiliency and stability, whether you're planning a business or planning a family. Being prepared for environmental change is the focus of our 20-year Climate Action and Adaptation Plan, which sets the goal of achieving an 80% reduction in carbon emissions for Santa Monica compared to 1990 in the next decade, in other words, by 2030. Besides clean energy and local water, the plan includes coastal flooding preparedness and a transition to lower carbon food supply chains, which can make a huge difference. Another huge difference, a great example of what's possible for a cleaner, greener future in Santa Monica, is rising right now behind City Hall. Our new community services building, City Hall East, will open to the public on Earth Day, April 22nd, which is the 50th anniversary of the original Earth Day. Santa Monica already has over 150 buildings that are LEED certified, but this will be the first municipal building in the country, maybe in the world, to meet the Living Building Challenge, which means net zero on energy, net zero on water, and net zero waste. That's a remarkable achievement. And besides that, it'll save us money. It'll save our city $2.5 million just in the first year by bringing all those residents serving functions together out of offices that we now lease throughout the city, and also freeing up that scarce office space for other local businesses. Nearby in Santa Monica's Civic Center this year, we'll be opening the long-awaited Civic Center multi-purpose sports field. Any sports fields fans here? Boy, we sure heard a lot about that. And nearby, work continues on the Sustainable Water Infrastructure Project, which is a key part of our water self-sufficiency plan. And there'll still be more ribbon cutting in 2020 in the Civic Center with the new Santa Monica Early Childhood Lab School, which was part of the original Civic Center master plan back in 1993. The Lab School is an innovative partnership between the city and Santa Monica College, providing quality early care and learning experiences for young children, along with the training and preparation of early childhood teachers and providers. That lab school will serve up to 110 infants, toddlers, and preschoolers, increasing the availability of much-needed full-time childcare for working families in Santa Monica. We know what this could mean for the healthy development and well-being of our children. The city and the school district, working with Connections for Children, have documented that our existing child care network means Santa Monica kids enter kindergarten ready to learn at higher rates than the rest of the country. The number of kids who are developmentally vulnerable is decreasing year after year, and that's across every neighborhood in Santa Monica. There are large gains in the percentage of kids who are on track or better. That, folks, is our future. That's our future right there. If local companies or employees are looking for social impact through community engagement, early education for kids under 5 can always use your support. When I was under 5, after a fire in my apartment house, I dreamed of growing up to be a firefighter. Santa Monica's fire department is probably better off without me. But our fire department has maintained their Class 1 rating, the highest rating given to any fire department nationwide by the Insurance Services Office. And they earned that rating by confining 84% of all structure fires to the areas where they started. That helped to save $42 million in property. California, we could see it, we could smell it. California was hit hard this year by wildfires, and our Santa Monica firefighters joined statewide agencies in responding to the Getty, the Tick, and the Kincaid fires. Meanwhile, down at the beach, our pilot fire department substation 7 has reduced beach emergency response times there by 50 to 60%. And if you're the one who needs a paramedic, that's a big deal to you. I am proud to announce the construction of our much-needed and long-awaited new downtown fire station is on schedule and under budget. I hope you'll join us at the grand opening when we cut the ribbon for Fire Station 1 this May. On schedule, under budget. Applaud for both. Our other public safety service in Santa Monica, of course, is our police department. And I know crime has been a major concern for many people these last few years. Under Chief Cynthia Renaud, we have now added 20 new officers on Santa Monica streets. And I have good news on the results. After 3 years of significant increases in what are called Part 1 crimes, last year we saw a 16% drop. Yep. That made last year the lowest in 5 years for rape, burglary, both residential and commercial, and bike theft. Also, aggravated assaults, which had increased over the prior 2 years, were down 18% last year. We still have work to do. Grand theft auto is still rising by 5%. I'm sorry to say shoplifting was the highest in 5 years. Overall, though, the downward trend in crime seems to be well established at this point, and it's continuing with the tentative figures that we've seen so far this year. If we can lower local crime an additional 7.5% below last year, we will have returned Santa Monica to the lowest crime rates in 30 years. Thank you, Chief. Santa Monica Police Chief Cynthia Renaud, whose hard work against crime we so much appreciate, will this autumn be sworn in as the president of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. Yes, I said international. Chief, would you please stand? Another reason to be grateful. Chief Renaud, our Fire Chief Bill Walker, and many Santa Monica police officers and firefighters were part of our annual homelessness count 3 weeks ago. Now, we don't have the latest numbers back yet, but we do know that our strategies, our new strategies these past several years have been working locally, while the county-wide homelessness tragedy just seems to get worse. LA County has a shortage of over 500,000 affordable housing units for low-income renters. If sometimes it seems as soon as we house one homeless person, another is on the street, the numbers bear that out. Every day in LA County, our efforts to end homelessness house an average of 130 people. But every day in LA County, 150 new people fall into homelessness because the root causes of homelessness in the county are getting worse. Nonetheless, here in Santa Monica, we achieved a 16% reduction in homelessness downtown last year, with just a very small increase in people on the streets citywide. We are what we call respectful but relentless in contacting homeless individuals and offering them real help. Our C3 team, the help team, downtown ambassadors, and service providers like West Coast Care are all making a difference. We actually expanded the downtown ambassadors to Reed Park last year, helping to create a welcoming public space there for everybody to enjoy. We've now put social workers in our public libraries to ensure that people can be connected to the services they need. Last year, our city council committed the site of a seismically unstable outmoded parking garage on 4th Street to be 150 units of supportive, affordable housing to get homeless individuals and families off the streets and into the services that they need to avoid homelessness in the future. So residents, businesses, you're looking for social impact, for a way to have your families and your employees make a difference, you may need to look no farther than the sidewalk outside. And don't trip over a scooter. Scooters and other micromobility options are only one of the transportation changes that are new since 5 years ago. We now have the first all-electric Big Blue bus in operation on our streets. Big Blue bus ridership, yeah. And if you like that one, there's 17 more coming. So we were making a big change there. Big Blue bus ridership, unlike other regional bus services, is up 5%. Up by 5%. More people on the Big Blue bus. And new bus lanes we put on Lincoln Boulevard have improved transit travel time there by 25%. So again, in the area of mass transit, Santa Monica leads. We've made a commitment to 1,000 electric vehicle chargers in our city. 1,000 EV chargers throughout all of our neighborhoods. Since 5 years ago, we've installed 19 miles of highly visible green bike lanes throughout the city. And we began pilot testing of separated bike lanes on some selected streets. The biggest change, though, since 2015 is Expo Light Rail, which carries 53,000 riders a week and had over 4 million boardings just last year. At the same time, Uber and Lyft flooded our streets. And that means we've gone from 4 local taxi cab companies to only 1. Is anybody here from Taxi? We're really glad you're here. We need you in our city. We really need all of us in our city. We need you. Tonight's theme is social impact. Social impact takes action. So for 2020, I'll challenge us, all of us, to take action and make an impact. There are so many ways in Santa Monica that you can make a difference. Join the Homeless Action Network. They're making 1,000 hygiene kits and they need your help. Or attend a Universal Human Rights Initiative community dialogue on homelessness at Calvary Baptist Church. They'd welcome your attendance. You can apply to be on a city board or commission, please. I mean, our city is always looking for people who care and who want to contribute. If time is scarce, but hey, there's money in your pocket, donate to a charity that'll make social impact. Or just in general, give a damn. Advocate for meaningful change that will help make our community a better place. This evening, I've been able to touch on only the highlights of what's going on in Santa Monica. The real state of the city is a much longer story. It's a story you and I are writing every day together. Thank you. Thank you for being part of our community.